Hi, I'm Kosher Salt with Real Hunters, and today I'm going to show you how to prepare a wild turkey breakfast sausage recipe. And it is actually right out of the Meat Eater cookbook here. It's one of my favorite cookbooks. This is actually probably one of my top favorite recipes that are in the cookbook that we've made for a long time, so I figured I'd show you how to prepare it today. Alright guys, so now we're going to go over all the ingredients you'll need to make this recipe. So we're going to start off with your dry ingredients, and we'll go with your salt, brown pepper, thyme, cinnamon, nutmeg, and black pepper. And then you'll use a lemon for lemon zest. You'll need 1 white onion, 2 apples, and then you'll also need your bacon and your turkey meat. And your turkey meat can be either just breast meat or leg meat. We use both for ours. And then I'm also going to go into a little section about the meat grinder, because this is your main piece of equipment that you're going to use for this recipe to make it into your sausage patties. So yeah, so like I said, grinder is going to be your main source of equipment, the only piece of equipment you actually need for this recipe. So we have here a Cabela's Deluxe grinder, which I think you can get at Cabela's for like $100. Any grinder will work, but you know, we've been really happy with this one, and it's only $100, so it's pretty affordable. And also, we put all of our other grinding equipment in the freezer before we start throwing the meat in, because it helps the meat process through the grinder easier and doesn't get all stuck and all. So that's one tip that you do before you start your grinding. So next step is cutting your apples and onions. And you know, it doesn't technically really matter how large you cut them, but it depends on how you're going to do it. So how we're going to do it is we're going to run all the onions and apples through the grinder with the meat. The cookbook actually has you putting them in with the meat after it's already been ground. So if you're going to do that, I'd cut them a lot smaller. But for our purpose, I'm just going to cut them up into pretty good sized chunks here and throw them in with the meat. I really like how it mixes in. I think it mixes in a little bit better with the meat and holds together better. So we're going to do that, and then after you get these all cut up into here, we're going to take it to the frying pan and fry them up till they're nice and soft. So we are here now frying up the onions and apples, and you basically fry them up till they get soft and brown. But you can kind of tell here all the apples and all are starting to turn brown, and they're all getting a little softer now. And so from this stage, we are going to put them in a glass bowl, and then we're going to put them in the fridge for an hour and let them cool down so they're nice and cool for when we grind them in with our meat. Now we're on to cutting the turkey meat and the bacon. And so it's basically a 2-to-1 ratio. So we got like 2 pounds of meat here with 16 ounces of bacon. So we like to cut the turkey meat into about 1.5-inch slices here. And then it's already pre-frozen, but basically what we'll do is we'll get this all cut up, and then we'll put it back in the freezer to get it hard so it's easier to grind with. And then we'll come back and we'll get the onions and apples, which are cooling in the fridge as well, and we'll mix them all together, and then we'll get going with our grinding. Next step, we just pulled our meat and our onions and apples out of the fridge and freezer, and so now we're going to mix them up, get them all nicely integrated before we start grinding. So it's pretty easy, just kind of start mixing everything together. I like to try to separate bacon and all that stuff to get really, so when you start grinding, it's fine, everything's pretty even throughout the grind, and you don't have any areas where there's more meat and less bacon or less apples and onions. It's looking pretty good here. Okay. Alright, so now we are going to start the grinding. And to start off, we put all of our main grinding parts of the grinder in the freezer to help with the grind when you start the whole process. It helps move the meat through easier and everything. Just to give you, it's a little tip, and it really helps out a lot. So you can kind of see it's outside today, but and kind of losing its coldness. But so we'll turn on the grinder, and then we'll just start pumping the meat through here. You just keep stuffing the meat, try to make it even. You see it really grinds quite nicely with all the apples and onions. little bit. And we're almost done. Moving this around. Okay, last little section here. Little apples, onions. Bacon. Okay, awesome. Alright, so we'll let this grind out here. Okay, and that's what it comes out looking like, nice, evenly together. And we only have one more step left, and we'll have our sausage done. The final step in the process is we're going to add all of our dry ingredients to the meat now. So we got our salt, brown sugar, thyme, nutmeg, cinnamon, and black pepper. So we'll just dump them all in there. Oh, shoot. And what we'll do is we'll break everything up, mix it all together in here. Make sure it's evenly ground. Get it all integrated well. Make sure there's no spots that have a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. And then, so we'll do this. And lastly, last thing we'll do, that's looking pretty good there. Get a little more in here. I recommend using a glove, makes it a lot easier to stick into your hands and everything. So that's looking pretty good. And then our last thing we'll do here is we will zest a lemon. So we'll just do this. And then that's your last ingredient. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now we'll mix that in. And then this is where it's all personal preference. So we like to make patties out of this. You can put it in sausage casings, which we've done too. But you know, that's a little bit more work, and then running everything through the grinder again. So what we like to do is just grab a little bit, a couple ounces worth, and then we like to just form them into little patties like that, and then we'll put them in the freezer, and you'll have little 3-ounce patties for breakfast. And that's the whole process. So go check out the YouTube video, it'll be up shortly, and subscribe to the channel if you like these videos. We'll be doing a lot more food videos showing you how to use all your wild game in the correct manner for all kinds of dinners, breakfast, lunch, all kinds of stuff. So go check it out. Thanks.